Hello, and welcome to the Math Connection. My name is Miss Lenz, and we are going to put all of these little explorations that we've been doing together into a good, efficient method for graphing these parabolas. So, if you have not watched the two videos that came before this, please do that. The first one, which is linked right here, is about what happens when I add and subtract numbers in different places, and then the second video is about how I can make, or how a parabola is made like skinnier or wider, and then also how it is reflected in the x-axis, how it's flipped over and made into a hill. And that video is linked right up here as well. Please watch those two first, because today I'm just going to summarize all of them together, and then we're going to use them to graph a parabola. So what we have done in the past is we have been trying to graph parabolas, and we said that one way we can do it is by using an input-output table. But I said in that video that is not the best method that we can use to graph these parabolas, because it's really hard to know what numbers I should be putting in for x. So, in my opinion, a more efficient method is what we just explored. It's called vertex form. We didn't call it that in the other videos, but we are going to call it that now. It's called vertex form, and vertex form is really helpful. It tells us a lot about a quadratic function. Okay, so vertex form is only for quadratic functions, and here's what it looks like. Y equals, now there could be a number in front of my parentheses. I'm going to put an A there, okay? And then x minus k squared plus h. And I'm going to put some numbers in here to make this make more sense, because I think that all these variables are very confusing. So I'm going to put numbers in here, okay? So another way of seeing that is minus 3 times x minus 4 squared plus 2. So here's one that has numbers in it. And what we did in all the past videos is we looked at what happens when I put numbers in these different places. What happens to the graph, okay? So just by looking at an equation that's in vertex form, this is what vertex form looks like. We are able to tell a lot about this graph, what it's going to look like. We're able to make really good predictions about what this graph would look like. So the first thing I want us to take a look at is this squared. The squared should be the first thing that draws your eye. And what that squared does, remember, that squared is what makes this quadratic. Okay, so that squared tells me this is a quadratic function, and this is going to be in the shape of a parabola when I graph it. Okay, so the squared makes it a parabola. Oops. The next one that I look at is the plus 2 that's at the end, this one right here. And what that 2 does is it moves it up and down. If I add or subtract a number, it moves it up or down. A plus moves it up. Okay, so this parabola is going to be moved up 2 from where the parent function would normally be, which, remember, the vertex of it is at the origin. Okay, this parabola also, in addition to being moved up 2, is going to be moved to the right 4. So this will be a parabola. It will be moved up 2. It will be moved to the right 4, which tells me what my vertex is. Because remember, the parent function has a vertex right at the origin, right at 0, 0. But now, instead of it being at 0, 0, I'm going to move it to the right 4, and I'm going to move it up 2. To the right 4 and up 2 is the point, hold on, because I got it right, is the point 4, 2. So this is why vertex form is so helpful. It tells me my vertex just by looking at it. Okay? So since this is moved right 4 and up 2, my vertex is going to be at the point 4, 2. Okay? There are some more things that it tells me, though. This negative sign in the front, that tells me that it is not going to be a U shape. It's now going to be a hill shape. Okay? So it's a flipped over one. It's a hill instead of being a valley. If that was a positive, or if there was no negative sign there, then it would be a valley. But since that negative is there, now it's a hill. I have one more extra number, and it is this 3. And what that 3 does, since it's bigger than 1, that 3 makes this into a skinnier parabola than the parent function, because it's going to be going up, or actually this one is going to be going down 3 times faster than the normal size parabola. So it's going to be skinnier, or it's going to be much closer to its line of symmetry. Okay, so I like to just call it skinny. This is going to make it a skinnier one, but more specifically, it's 3 times skinnier. Okay, or it goes down 3 times as fast. Okay, so now that we know all of these things, we have a much easier time putting this on a coordinate plane. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to grab a coordinate plane, and I'm going to move all of this stuff over just a bit so I have some more space for my coordinate plane. All right, so here's my coordinate plane, and now what we just did is we just thought about this, what this graph is going to look like when I put it on a coordinate plane. Now I actually have to put it on a coordinate plane. So let's start. We want to start with our vertex. We said that my vertex got cut off. Our vertex is at the point 4, 2, because it's moved 4 to the right and it's moved 2 up. So normally my parent function would have a vertex right there at the origin, but I'm moving my parent function now. I'm moving it into a new spot. So it won't be at the origin, it's going to be over 4 and up 2. So here's my first point, and I also should be thinking, since that is the vertex, I know that it's either going to go up from there like this, or it's going to go down from there like that. But we know which one of those it is. We know that this has to be a hill. We already said that. This is going to be a hill. So it will not be going up in any way. All the rest of my points are going to be downwards from that point. That is going to be the highest point in my parabola. And everything else will come down from there. Okay? Now, let's find the next point that's on there. Could I make an input-output table from right here? Yes, I can. I could, so we wouldn't want to put in a 4 because we already have that point. The point 4, 2 is on there, but we can put in points that are around the 4 if we wanted to. So we could make a little table like this, XY table. I could put in a 5, or I could put in a 3, and I could see what would come out of this machine if I did put those points in. That is one way that we could do this, but that's not my favorite way. My favorite way is using this 3 part of it. We know that this is going to be a skinny parabola. We know that it's going to be going down, because this is a negative, 3 times faster than a normal size parabola. So a normal size parabola would go to the right 1, and then it would go down because this is a hill, right? So it would go over 1, down 1 in both directions. Over 1, down 1. But it's going to go over 1, and it's going to go down 3 times as fast. So instead of going down only 1, it's now going to go down 3. So I'm going to go over both directions, right 1, down 3 from that vertex, left 1, down 3 from that vertex. I know that those 2 points are on my parabola. I could do that again. I could go over 2, and instead of going down, this normally would go down 4, but instead of going down 4, it's going to go down twice as, nope, 3 times as fast as that. So instead of going down 4, it's now going to go down 12. So I could go over 2 and down 12, which would actually bring me all the way down to the bottom of my coordinate plane, and same with this one. And I have 5 points that are on this now, and now I can connect those points. Oopsies. I'll try to connect them a little bit better. And there is my parabola. Okay? So that, in my opinion, is much more efficient and easier because I don't have to guess what points are going in. I know where the next points are. Okay? Let's try another one of those. Remember, this is called vertex form. We're going to use vertex form for more than this, so make sure you know what that word means. Y equals, let's do 1/2 times x minus 1 squared minus 4. Okay, here is my quadratic function. So what I suggest doing now is pushing pause and making your predictions. What is this parabola going to look like? It's not even a prediction. It's things that we should know that it looks like, actually. Push pause. Do that to yourself. I would say it out loud, and then we can continue on. So hopefully you have those guesses. And let's see if you're right. Okay, so the first thing that I know is that this is going to be moved down 4. The parent function is not going to be at the origin. It's going to be moved down 4, but it's also going to be moved to the right 1. Right 1, down 4. Now, that tells me what my vertex is. Instead of being at the origin, I'm going to the right 1 and down 4. That means that my vertex is at the point 1, -4. Over 1 to the right and down 4, that is my vertex. Okay. Another thing that I know, first of all, I should have started with this one. That that exponent of 2, that tells me that this is going to be a parabola. It's going to have that shape. It's either going to be a valley or it's going to be a hill, but we know which one it's going to be. Since this is a positive out front right here, it is going to be a valley this time. Okay, so since there's no negative, that tells me that this is a valley. And the 1/2 is the last thing that I like to think about. The 1/2 is making this parabola be a fatter parabola or a wider parabola than my parent function. It's not going to go up as fast as my parent function. Actually, it's going up at half the speed of my parent function. It's going up half as fast. Okay? So we just described this in words, and now we want to actually put that on a coordinate plane. So let's do that. I'm going to grab a coordinate plane here. And let's put what we just said onto this coordinate plane. So again, vertex form really quickly helped us to find our vertex. Our vertex is the point 1, -4. So it's going to go to the right 1, and it's going to go down 4, and that's going to be my vertex right there. Now, I like to stop right there and think, are my points going to be going upwards from this, or are they going to be going downwards from this? And we just need to know if this is a hill or a valley to find that out. This is going to be a valley. So all of my points will be going up from here. Okay. Specifically, they're going to be going up half as fast. So now we're going to think of our parent function and we're going to kind of cut it in half. So normally it would go over 1, up 1, but now it's going to go over 1 and up half as fast. It's going to go up 1/2. So over 1 and up just half of a box, right, in both directions. So to the left one and to the right one. Okay. But I'm also going to go over 2. Normally in a parent function, it's going to go over 2 and it's going to go up 4, but now it's going up half as fast. So it'll go over 2, but it'll only go up 2 instead of 4. Over 2 and up 2. And again, these should also make sense. It does make sense that these are going up at this speed. This is fatter than a normal size parabola. So this makes sense. We could do this one more time if we wanted. A normal size parabola goes over 3 and up 9. Now it's going to go over 3 and up half of that. So over 3 and up 4.5. Over 3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just another half of a box. And you can use symmetry if you want to also. If this point's on there, just go over in the other direction the exact same amount. Bugger. Up 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 right here. And right there. We keep getting shapes. There we go. So there's 7 points for us that are on my parabola, and my last step can just be to connect them. And hopefully you connected yours better than mine, because mine does not look very good, but you get the idea. So this is a much more efficient method of graphing a parabola, and it's using that vertex form. So just by looking at vertex form, as long as it's in that form, because we're going to run into some equations that are not in vertex form, and we will have to make it be in vertex form. So as long as it's in that form, we can list a whole bunch of stuff that we know about this parabola. Okay? Thank you for watching. If you would like to see the next video, which is what happens if this equation is not in vertex form, you can click on this link right here. Also, please check out the episode description. There are a lot of Teachers Pay Teachers links in there. I have a lot of activities that go along with this to practice of these different things. So please check those out. Hit that subscribe button if this video has been helpful for you, and I hope to see you soon.